Hello, my friends, and welcome back to New Dalancia, our Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign. Last week, the party arrived at Bunavar, where they met with Captain Govin Godbury to determine the origin of the strange pendant. While they learned little, they agreed to accompany Govin and company on one of those House Godbury ruin expeditions. We left off in the Immaculate Nun Inn, having 2 days until departure. And the friends were seeking work to fill the time and their pockets. So here's the scene. Why did I put that in front of? Oh yeah, you know what? This is a window capture. We're good, right? It didn't show that on the stream. Okay, that would have been embarrassing. I'm doing DM dumb stuff right right out the gate today. This is awesome. Okay, so we left off, and I believe you had charmed Mr. What was it? Rollo? Rollo, what is your name? Your name. Rollo Tanglestrand. Did I not assign you? Yeah, I did. Okay. Ian Fear. And you were also discussing your, the reason you're carrying around this dagger.
So, enough about me. So, some of the rest of you, why are you where you are today?
And Tarius kind of looks around. No one? I, for one, am interested.
I'd like to know a bit more about this lover in the back, and the knife, and the death.
Was someone after you?
I mean...
Was someone after her?
Or him.
I wish I knew. I never really stuck around. I mean, I grabbed the knife, but I've just been trying to track down whoever did this. I've never, as far as I can tell anyway, I've never seen them. I've never dealt with them. I've never really had any. I mean, I've had a few bad interactions, but that's only just because, growing up, being, doing dumb stuff, trying to impress girls, and maybe accidentally setting a building or two on fire.
Sure.
Valphalin pipes in, the worst kind of enemy is the one that you cannot see.
Well said.
And Antarius kind of puts his drink down and sighs. He says, moment please. Valphalin and I are of Otlek in Imajokia. I serve the court of Queen Alice Webb. We've come all this way as there was an attempt made on the Queen's life by a dwarf, and he bore all the symbols of all the great houses. They were all on these pendants that were present at the time. So we've come here to investigate why anyone would want to make an attempt on her life. We have always been neutral in worldly affairs. So it occurs to me this isn't a political thing. Or perhaps it is, and we just don't know the whole story.
Do you have any leads?
No, not so far. Although this D character is worth investigating. In fact, I intend to remain in town for over the next few days. Valphalin will accompany you on to whatever work you wind up finding. So Valphalin turns to kind of look at Antarius, and his eyes grow really narrow. Antarius just puts his hand up and he says, "I'll not hear it this time. I'm staying here. I'll be fine." Valphalin goes, "Yes, Captain."
So, were there any houses not included?
None that we know of.
Well then, either someone's trying to frame everyone, or there's a very, very big conspiracy going on.
Indeed. There, when we found him, there were these runes he had scrawled on the floor, and we still don't know what to make of them. They were in Dwarvish, ancient Dwarvish, but none of us knew what they were. They looked to be. None of us knew what they said.
You don't have any sort of copy of them or anything?
Alas, no. We weren't able to collect that before the entire scene had been wiped clean.
That is unfortunate.
Yes, even despite guards being posted outside, we're not sure how they got in.
Curious.
Indeed. But everywhere we go tends to lend more mystery than answer.
I wonder if this could be at all connected to any of our prior dealings with the corruption in the woods.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling that that is the case. Now, that that's out of the way, what about the rest of you? Any stories to tell? Takes a drink out of his mug and sets it back on the table. Rollo kind of shifts, his eyes glancing about the room. He has curiously had his eyes kind of shifting as he's spoken to you, even though he was charmed by the sorcerer.
Turn to Rollo, saying, "Is everything all right? You seem to be a little uneasy."
Well, okay. Actually, I heard y'all talking about work. And I happen to know somewhere you can make some extra money.
Do tell.
One moment. So I found a tunnel entrance just outside town, about an hour's walk. And it's covered in these really thick vines, but I squeezed in. And there was something down there that was glowing, like treasure. But I heard a noise and I left. And I've been meaning to go back.
About how far would you say that was?
Like I said, it's about an hour outside town. I can show you the way.
We would be most grateful.
That would be amazing. I'm so excited for another adventure.
When do you want to go?
So, do you mind if I talk with my friends for a little bit?
Of course. Go right ahead. I'll just be over here at the bar.
Huddle
So
time.
Now he's
Yeah,
like
so I'm
suddenly
gonna-
very smiling, and at like everything is just lifted off of him. He no longer.
I'm gonna pull him in, like everyone sort of in close, and whisper in conspiratorial tone. Listen, this stuff doesn't really last very long. So by the time we get to wherever he's gonna show us this place is, he's gonna be back to his old grumpy self. So just be aware of that.
Antarius lifts his finger. You can't just charm him again?
I mean, I could try to, but don't forget, like, if I mean, anything could potentially happen. I could try charming him and it could work, or I could try charming him and suddenly we're in the hellscape.
Oh, he'll build a resistance to the charm.
Very well. We will err on the side of caution. Well, you will err on the side of caution, I suppose.
Maybe we can rush.
As long as we get here before he snaps back in it, we could always kill him.
Let's not be hasty, Antarius says.
He looks pretty small. I don't think he'll cause much fuss.
That's very true. Well,
Anyway, so
shall we be off then?
I certainly have an hour. And
Yeah,
maybe
right
a
away.
person.
So Antarius says, there's still the matter of the blacksmith. But this does seem a bit more lucrative.
Or at least immediate.
Indeed. Something to keep in mind, I suppose.
If the blacksmith needs any sort of payment, it would behoove of us to first get said payment.
Then, should we see the blacksmith first before leaving? Find out what he wants.
Yeah, sounds like that would be the best idea.
I have no strong preference.
Okay. To the blacksmith, then. Is everyone on board with this? Does anyone want to stay behind?
I think we'll all just probably. The faster we get through this and get to this treasure, it'll probably be the most expedient actions for us.
Very well. So the smithy is right in the kind of in the marketplace. Yeah, thank you. The smithy is right right in the marketplace. It's kind of turned aside so that it doesn't exactly face the road, which is kind of weird. And I'm just setting up my scene, dragging you guys in. Bear with me. I'm just kind of putting you guys in tumble unless you have a preferred marching order. Misku, Cyrene.
I think being in the back is probably my only thing that I would prefer. Somewhere in the back.
Understood. Okay. Gosh, I'm sorry that took so long. Hopefully it will not continue to lag like that. Welcome to the smithy. Now before you, As you walk up the street, you already can hear the grinding of this wheel, this grinding stone, and the smithy, a half-orc, is seated, and he is sharpening a sword as you approach. Strangely enough, and contrary to the rest of the locals that you've seen thus far, he is a fully painted orc, half-orc. He kind of has this big paw print on his face, and a scar. I don't know if this is going to show you just the picture or the character sheet or what. Hopefully it doesn't show you the character sheet, but...
All it's going to show us is just the picture.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's very cool. So that's him. Only, like I said, he has the paint on his face, which I couldn't do in that software. And I will hand the table over to you.
So this is the place then.
Indeed. So we're inquiring about work. They mentioned that, there's been this iron shortage. Anybody want to take an action here?
Tess waves at the blacksmith and she says, "Good day, kind sir."
The blacksmith turns around. Yes. How can I help?
Might you be the local blacksmith that we've been hearing so much about?
Yeah. Sword still in hand. Starts to very slowly approach you. Yes. I am the town blacksmith. Do you need weapons? Armor?
Tess looks at the rest of the party. Anyone need any of the aforementioned materials?
I think what we're looking for is to provide him with services. Is that not correct?
Oh, if no one wants to do any shopping. Yeah, we're here to see if you have any work for us, any leads, anything that you might be needing.
Well, with the iron shortage in full effect, I will pay double for any iron that you can find. The wilderness has been dangerous lately, and so it has been very hard for me to get workers to go out and do any mining.
Dangerous, you say? What's been going on?
From what I've heard, it's just increased activity of local beast. I honestly don't know why these people are so fearful of this, but it has put a damper on my income of iron. Any help with that would be greatly appreciated.
Tess looks back at the rest of the party. Iron, I think we might be able to help.
I'll pay double, no more.
Seems fair. Where might we head from here then?
So he kind of thinks for a minute. It's been a long time since I've had reason to leave the city walls, outside of hunting, occasionally.
Might there be someone else in town who might know where we could head? Even if it's dangerous, we're up to the job.
So he says, I believe if you head along the what river is this? I believe if you head along the Bukathambe River, which is the river that this town is actually right next to, you should have a chance of finding some iron. Thorvald, or not Thorvald, I'm sorry, Rollo, who's actually here. Totally with, because that's the whole point, right? Well, that's good, because that's actually where we're headed. We could keep a lookout on the way.
Yeah, we'll definitely scout out some iron and see if we can help out. Just the base have caused the shortage? That's all that you're aware of?
That's all I've heard.
Okay, noted.
I've heard the same thing. And he kind of like, he kind of tugs at your cloak, Ian Fear, as if to get your attention. And he's like, I've heard the exact same thing.
The exact same thing?
It's been really dangerous out there lately.
Well, I mean, you always know you had your friend to call on in order to help.
I'm just so glad that I could help my best friend. And he's like crying.
Oh, weird.
Well, I suppose we should make haste and try to see what we can do to find some iron and maybe stop a few beasts.
Agreed. Let's head out.
So you guys all depart into the forest. Rollo leads you for a time. It's about, like I said, about an hour walk along the river. Just outside the city's walls. In fact, you can kind of see the city still up on a hill through the trees. The forest isn't that dense in some of these sections around the river. So it isn't long after that you finally encounter this very viney hillside. And over the rock on the side of this hill, there is what looks to be an arch that is covered in these very, very thick vines.
Does the arch look ancient?
It does. It's made of stone. And yes, it does look like it's been caked with all sorts of debris and dirt. But yes, it does look very old. As you approach... So as you approach, Rollo says, "This is it."
And you said you heard a noise.
I did, but it was just inside.
Do you remember what kind of noise it was?
Oh, it was maybe it was maybe a footstep. It was rather soft, and as soon as I heard it, I left immediately.
And it came from inside this archway.
Yes. I was inside at the time. I heard it from maybe down the hall.
Well, since you've already been inside, you know a bit more about the place than we do. Perhaps you should lead us.
So he kind of approaches the wall, or the archway, and suddenly stops and turns around. And he says, really quick DM note, Ian Fear, how long is your charm?
It's an hour. That's
It's
why
an
I
hour?
said. Yeah, so it was an hour from casting till it stops.
And he says, I'd like 50%.
No.
Oh, big demands.
Then I won't show you how to get in.
50% is asking a lot, and it seems you know your numbers pretty well. Checking again, how many of us are there?
Roll an intimidation, please. Anyone can assist him with that.
I definitely will need this. Well, maybe not as much.
Aren't you? You're a
Yeah.
charisma sorcerer?
Yeah, well, it's not my so it's not one of the ones that I'm in that I have the proficiency in, but
He's the one that
Yeah,
piped
yeah.
up. He's the one that said,
Yep.
I'm gonna.
You know what? Why not? You know what? I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and use my inspiration on it.
Ahara, are you assisting him?
I was attempting to. It was a great roll.
No. So whatever your roll is, Ian Fear, you get a +2 to it, and
Oh, assisting him. I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
yeah,
Right.
you know, like
Yes.
coming up behind him, kind of puffing up a bit, you know, intimidating him. You're like, yeah, we're in a big ass group. What are you gonna do? You know?
I like that one now.
You kind of step forward, you aggressively, you know, you nailing him with those eyes, you know. And you're assisting,
Grrr.
mad dogging him and shit.
Maybe my eyes glow a little bit too when I say this.
Okay, 20%.
Can Cyrene
Ted,
assist too? Assist too?
So Cyrene also steps up, or floats up.
Let me. Because she's
Roll an intimidation.
roll a little fairy into She puffs up real big.
She rolled higher. She rolled higher than the. Okay. Brigands. And you see him grip the side of these vines, and he kind of feels around a little bit. And he yanks his hand back real quick. Ooh! Kind of sucks on his thumb. It must have scratched it or something. And then he reaches back in and pulls these vines just enough where you think you can squeeze through.
I would look at the others and say, I don't know. Last time we dealt with vines, they were in a humanoid form.
Tess goes straight in, like head first. She's ready. She goes for it. She gets down on hands and knees, starts crawling through. I'll let you guys know if it's safe.
About Phelan makes his way through as well. He just kind of barely fits. You see the vines kind of cut into his skin a little bit as he kind of shimmies
Big
through.
Booty. He got a big booty.
Well, and if it's cutting into a dragonborn skin, ooh,
Yeah, these vines are pretty sharp. You want to try to keep them away from you. So Rollo signals to the next person, and he points at his hand where he's got his hand on these vines, and he says, "It's smooth right here. You can hold it out from yourself."
Can I make like an insight check or something? Like I'm not trusting him very much right now.
Sure. You can always make an insight check. He wants that treasure, dude.
All right, fair enough. What about like? Is there something I would know from my travels of survival to try and like understand how to deal with these vines more I don't know, appropriate?
Sure.
Um,
Vines are susceptible to fire. You can also hack through them if you have a slashing weapon.
I was gonna say either that or I mean, Misku, isn't one of your weapons like a long staff type weapon?
Misku?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Isn't one of your weapons like a long staff type weapon? Maybe you could like
Yes.
stick it through into the vines to sort of like lift up the vines to give us a bit of a clearer path.
Okay, yeah, I'll allow that.
So that would make Misku basically one of the last ones to go through. So I think I'd
Okay.
probably go next.
I have a quarter staff as well as part of my like explorer's pack starting out.
Are there any like rocks nearby?
Rocks? Sure.
Yeah. All right. Misku grabs a let's say a basketball-sized rock.
Yeah, you're able to find one.
Cool. I plop it on the ground next to the vines and prop my Tetsubo up on it and sit on the other side as a fulcrum to keep the vines up.
Oh, that's very clever. Okay. Lifting the vines, however, up into position, please roll a strength check. That's a strength save, actually.
Oh, wrong one.
Ooh.
Oh,
He could use
They must
a
be
hand
some
getting them
real-
into position.
that must be a really thick grouping of vines. Like they must be like.
Anyone want to give him a hand?
I was gonna say I think we would probably kind of look towards Antarius.
Antarius stayed behind.
Oh,
What do I roll
okay.
for this? Is it just strength up here?
So Valphalin also comes back and assists, and with under the four of you, or the four of you, you guys are able to lift the vines. So really quick, the order in which you guys want to march.
So Tess was going first.
Yeah, Tess and Val are up front.
I would probably be next.
Then
I think so. Misku and Ahara kind of have to be in the back just because they were the ones who were lifting up the vines.
very well.
Cyrene can go like third or so.
And I think that accounts for everyone that's present. As you descend into the tunnel, the air quickly becomes stale, and dirt and dust are packed about to form a walkway down this hallway at the bottom of the stairs.
Cover your mouths and wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
It's
Turn the
very
page.
dark, and Valphalin turns around. Does anyone have a torch?
I'm certainly carrying plenty, but I have dark vision.
Yeah, Tess has some too.
Dark
Um,
vision.
She'll go ahead and light up a torch.
Tess lights up a torch. Valphalin starts to proceed down the hall. What does everybody want to do?
Hess is also moving down the hallway and peering around the corner.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow behind Valphalin.
Let's see. So yeah, Valphalin kind of starts making his way around the corner. He kind of peers around the corner. He stows his weapon and he kind of approaches this crystal formation, or this crystal structure.
It's still kind of hidden from us.
You'll have to move down.
Okay.
You can move at will right now. There's nothing happening.
Oh, that's cool.
As you enter the chamber, grinding stone echoes into the next room as a stone gate shifts into place behind you.
Oh, that doesn't sound ominous at all.
Uh-oh.
Tip. Is there any partial cover that I could stealth behind?
One moment, please. I've not done this before, and it's actually quite a bit more difficult than I anticipated. One moment. Okay. There we go. Okay. You're looking for cover that you can stealth behind? Whoops.
Yeah, I'd like to hide. So if I see something, I have some sort of advantage.
The only structures that are in here are 4 pillars, right? And then as you enter this chamber, there is this. Where is it? Inside a bowl and a large stone platform in the middle of the room sits a massive glowing crystal. And this crystal is licked by this supernatural flame atop this viscous liquid beneath it.
I'm gonna look up towards the ceiling, see if I see any possible place where a boulder could fall out from.
Investigation check, please.
Okay, this is whatever. This is gonna be whatever it is. Ooh.
You see nothing.
Yeah, that was my little Indiana Jones tribute.
But you're very sure. But you're very sure. Let me see. So Valphalin starts to kind of circle this weird structure.
You said it was a stone gate that closed behind us, right?
Yes.
I like to examine these pillars.
The pillars are made of a stone. There doesn't seem to be anything incredible about them. They seem to be mostly decorative in nature.
No, well, I was going to say no fancy designs. It doesn't look like they've got, or does it look like they're covered with the same sort of like debris and dirt and all that other stuff?
Yeah, they also seem to be. They seem to have this dirt caked up against them, and there are various like leaves and other debris in here.
Can I examine the crystal?
All around the crystal, on this stone, around this bowl in which this crystal is, there are pictures of weapons, various weapons, swords, axes, staves, spears, bows, crossbows, things like that, and they are all pointed in toward this crystal.
Does the crystal have any kind of mechanism we can poke or prod?
Actually, as you guys kind of glance around the room, on the back of the wall here, there is a lone and foreboding button.
Oh no. It's not the it's not the end of the world button, I hope. Because you know we gotta press it.
It's the 42 button. I don't know.
Big red shiny button!
Misku, how well can you see right now where you are standing?
I mean, I have dark vision, so
Okay. So on this wall here, you have noticed a set of runes in a spiral pattern.
all right. Can I? Are these things something I can read or
What languages do you know?
infernal and common?
No, sir.
Well, I see some squiggly doodles over here. I can't read much though.
Are they dwarvish runes?
Do you read Dwarvish?
Yeah.
Yes, they are. But they're not the same as like just dwarven writing. They seem different somehow. Ancient, maybe?
Can I inspect them?
They appear to be numbers. And the number 20 sets the center. And then around them, clockwise and outward, 19, 18, 17, 16, all the way down to 0. There are 21 runes total. 0 is at the top. It's in the 12 o'clock position.
These are all numbers, but I'm not sure what to make of it. To inspect the rest of the room.
The rest of the room doesn't have anything terribly noteworthy about it. There are no other runes or anything like that. Just the strange square stone structure with the bowl in it that houses this crystal suspended above this liquid that is aflame. Around that bowl, like I said, are imprints of different weapons, pictures of different weapons, all pointed into it.
Do the runes on the wall and the circle around the fire look similar?
Do they look similar to the print?
Like is there an isomorphism? Is it like 1-to-1 between the wall runes and the print on the ground?
So the print, the runes that are inscribed on the wall are on the wall over here. The runes that are, or the weapons, the little weapon pictures are around the bowl on top of this, about waist high, like stone structure with a bowl in it that houses this crystal. But to directly answer your question, they do seem similar to you.
Is there any kind of wear or anything on either the wall or around the bowl to see that maybe one's type of thing has been used more than any others?
Investigation check. Nice.
Wow, I rolled high.
Actually, yes. The bowl itself, and kind of you can kind of see into the liquid a little bit. It looks like there are various like scratches, like things have been kind of moving about into and out of the liquid. Not living things, of course. We're talking like stone, metal, something that kind of scratched the surface of this stone bowl, but not hard enough to warrant like force. Just use.
I'm gonna share what I see with the others.
We are trapped.
There must be some sort of mechanism that opens something back up. If it closed by itself, it must also open.
Perhaps it is linked to this button.
How many images of the weapons are there on the bowl or around the bowl?
Let's say there are 2 for each weapon. So total, let me pull that up. That would be... Actually, no, there's just 36. It's 1 for each type of weapon.
And you said there was like 20 of the runes on this back wall?
Yes.
Or at least...
And those are numerical digits. If Tess, did you tell her that? Do you know how to read Dwarven?
Yeah.
Okay. No, they appear to be
They're
numbers.
like in a spiral shape, counting down from 21.
Valphalin examines the button closer.
Well, I've got no other ideas. I can see the wear on these symbols, but I don't know what that means. Other than pressing the button, I'm not sure what else we might try.
Frankly, I'm scared to press the button. I'm not sure what it'll do.
I mean, not unless we can try to rotate the bowl.
Otherwise, we'll be stuck in here forever.
You want to try to rotate that bowl, Ian Fear?
I mean, I don't know if I'm the best to do that, considering like my strength's probably not very...
I can help. And Valphalin kind of squats down and he places his arms around this large stone square and he starts to move it. And I'm take it that everybody who's moving into position is trying to help with this.
Yeah.
It doesn't budge.
Yeah. All right. And it's a magical fire, you said, that's around the stone?
Yeah. Yeah, there's like the crystal is suspended over this liquid, and the liquid is aflame with this kind of like a bluish, greenish, purplish
How
flame.
hot does the flame feel?
Not hot at all. As you place your hand over it, and you don't seem to feel any heat from it. But light. It does emanate light.
What kind of liquid is this?
How do you intend to decipher that?
I don't know. Can I investigate it or something?
How would you like to investigate it?
I mean,
I have a vial.
You're looking at it, and you can't see through it, It's
Is it
purple.
bubbling?
It's purple and pink in color. It's kind of swirly. You would normally attribute things like this to the arcane.
Okay. I mean, what if we try to just take the crystal?
Do you want to reach for the crystal?
I mean, I kind of don't want to reach for the crystal, but I also don't want to push the button. I'm gonna so say to Valphalin, I think we may have to push the button first. If nothing happens from that, we may have to see what happens if we try to reach for the crystal.
Very well. Then I shall press the button. Does everyone disagree? Or does anyone disagree?
I don't think we have any other choice.
Pretty trapped.
Valphalin's a nail kind of scrapes the front of the button and you hear a click. Misku, behind you, a light flashes and it engulfs the entire room. As you turn to look at what that flashing was, the numbers on the wall have begun to glow. They glow yellow. And the number 20 shines. And they start to count down. 19.
Oh dear.
18.
Oh,
17. 16.
Do
15.
the rest of us notice, or is it just
Oh, yeah.
Misku?
13. 12. 11. 10.
Maybe you should move away from the symbols.
9. 8. Valphalin presses the button again. 20. 19.
Okay, so we got a
18.
20-second timer towards whatever this is going to be.
17. 16.
Okay.
The numbers are counting down.
Is anything happening with the crystal or the?
Nope.
Is the bowl housing the liquid? Is it like holding the liquid, or is it just an empty bowl? Bowl that we tried to pick up.
Valphalin steps over and presses the button again, and once more the numbers revert to 20. Ask your question again.
Bowl that we tried to lift up, is that what's housing the liquid, or is it just an empty
Yes.
bowl?
It is housing the liquid that is on fire underneath this crystal. That is kind of set in the bowl but suspended over the liquid.
Can we see anything else alongside these other walls here or here?
No, you investigated that already.
Yeah. All right.
And the bowl has a picture of a bunch of weapons on it.
It does.
Is there like a quarterstaff on that?
Yes.
I don't know, it might be crazy, but Tess pokes her quarterstaff into the liquid. See what happens.
So as you place the quarterstaff into the liquid, flame licks up the quarterstaff and engulfs it, but it's not hot in your hand. In fact, the quarterstaff feels lighter now.
Did anything happen with the numbers?
Are you leaving your quarterstaff in there?
Yeah.
Nothing seems to have happened with the numbers, but after the initial effect, nothing else seems to happen. The flame eventually departs your quarterstaff and returns to the bowl.
You said the numbers that were written in the back wall that was over here were in Dwarvish, like Old Dwarvish? or unusual dwarvish.
Yeah, maybe ancient dwarvish?
I'm gonna look down towards my right hand a little bit, and I'll pull out the dagger.
Okay.
As I wonder aloud, I wonder. So I'll sort of walk towards the bowl and thrust the dagger into the water.
So the same thing happens. This flame licks up the blade onto your hand and covers this weapon entirely. It doesn't feel hot, but as you kind of pull your hand away, the dagger feels different. It feels more balanced. It feels better.
Huh. So, like, I'm gonna experimentally sort of like feel this and then tell the others. This is a little unusual, but this water feels like it's made this weapon feel more balanced.
Yeah, I feel the same with my quarterstaff.
I want to stick my bow in. It's wood. I guess the quarterstaff was wood too.
The very same effect.
The same thing.
Yeah, so the exact same thing happens. Flame licks up the tool and the weapon, and it becomes lighter. It feels sturdier somehow. This is your bow you're doing this with?
Yeah.
It feels sturdier somehow. It feels more balanced than before.
All right.
But nothing's happening on the bowl, like the bowl's not lighting up or anything like that. Like the weapons on the bowl.
Okay. This is easier.
Just looks the same, I'm assuming.
One moment, please. I'm trying to get everyone sorted here. Oh, there it is. Huh? There we go. Valphalen's kind of watching all of this go down. There's nothing... This doesn't seem to be hindering these numbers, and Valphalen just keeps kind of pressing the button every time it goes down to about 17. So...
I'm gonna look.
Who else dipped weapons into the liquid so far?
So I dipped the dagger. Tess dipped her quarterstaff. Ahara dipped his bow.
I'll dip.
Okay. You're dipping which weapon?
Tetsuo.
What kind of weapon did I say that was? That's a
Warhammer.
Warhammer. There we go. Oh. Oh my gosh, I just realized that. Okay. Okay. Valphalin, for just a moment, follows suit, and then he kind of proceeds back to the button.
Would
It didn't do anything.
yeah.
And he's like sitting here just kind of pressing this button over and over again. Click, 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 click.
I'm gonna be like, is it the water or is it the stone?
Finally, Valphalin, tired, walks away from the button.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, let's see what happens when it counts down to 0.
19, 18, 17, 16, 15.
Tess tosses her mace in the bowl real quick.
The lights start to flash and the room turns yellow. 14,
Everyone toss your weapons in the bowl.
13. Valphalin comes over and does that. Tosses everything, all his weapons
toss all
into
of
the
your
bowl.
Weapons. Just toss all of your weapons in the bowl.
12.
Yeah. So
11.
I've got a crossbow and 2 daggers that can get tossed in.
10. 9.
I mean, I'll throw in my short swords as well.
The room changes red. 8. 7. 6. 5. The lights pulse.
Stir the bowl like a mixing bowl.
4. The lights pulse again.
Yes, stir that up.
3. 2. 1. Valphalin rushes over to the bowl or to the button and he presses it in. 20.
No,
19.
I wanted to know.
The lights come back up and they're fully.
Well, I'm gonna pick up my short swords and put them back in their sheaths then.
As you guys are all sheathing your weapons, the numbers count back down to 5, and the lights once again pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and the lights come back up, and there's the sound of shifting rock.
Where is the sound coming from?
Down the hall, near the ruins.
So where we came from.
Yes.
I want to cautiously sort of like inch my way through.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
You can now see both directions down this hallway.
What about the stone gate?
Gone.
And the stone door at the front we came in is still closed.
No. You can now exit as you please.
Well, in or out, folks.
Tess,
I mean,
Tess continues down the hall. You see quite a bit of debris about the hallway. As you continue down, you begin to hear echoes in the darkness.
echo, 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 echo.
There's a light up ahead, and the hallway breaks into 2 very dark branches. At this time, no, you know what? Let's keep going.
So left or right?
Tess, you so
I have dark vision. Should I be able to see further around this corner?
there's not enough light in that corner to see. However, you do begin to see what looks like the beginning of a very, very deep hole.
Oh dear.
Oh, this is a deep one.
It looks like there may be enough room along the side to kind of shimmy along the wall to get past it.
About this side. What's this stuff?
Leaves, a lot of them, gathered in the center of this hallway.
Can I investigate the leaves?
Sure.
See if they're like a trap or something.
So, indeed, as you brush the leaves aside,
Ah.
there are spikes on the floor. It didn't take a roll to do that. You just move the leaves. Easy. Easy peasy. Go ahead and award yourself 50 experience points, please. Or, I'm sorry, 25 experience points, please. It was a little much.
Do they line the entire floor, or is it just like the?
With the spikes, it looks like you might be able to kind of navigate through them without stepping on them.
Okay.
It will take a dexterity check, however.
See if I can tiptoe.
Would this be like a dexterity save?
Yes.
Or
Yeah, I'll let
just
you.
a-
I'll let you roll either one: dexterity save or dexterity check.
What's the difference? Which one's which?
Just look at your character sheet and see which one's higher.
Doesn't look like. It looks like they're the same here.
So if you have so if your class has proficiency in certain saving throws for certain attributes, then you'll want to use your saving throws. Otherwise, it doesn't matter.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, I'll go ahead and let you use your saving throw versus this one, if it is higher.
Yeah, sure.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Tess, you like
Yeah,
backflip over it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Some like badass bitch music plays.
It's the hooves. It's all the magic of the hooves. I don't have to worry too much about stepping in the
I
wrong
do.
spot.
It's like distortion guitar.
She just like clip clops her way through.
Misku, you make it through as well. Nice. Ahara.
Yay for dexterity proficiencies.
Ian Fear?
Mine is, yeah.
Oh, Ian Fear.
Maybe I should have just done a charisma save to have one of them carry me across.
It's not so bad. Take 4 damage.
Yeah, maybe I could have just carried him.
If I fly,
You're fine.
then how does? Yeah, okay.
All you had to say is, I fly over the spikes. Done. Yep. Yeah. True. You win. Yeah, this one was not such a big problem for Cyrene whatsoever. She like flies over the spikes. Like, I don't know why y'all are all freaking
I'm
out.
gonna say, I wonder if Cyrene would know anything about this place, considering how old it is.
I mean, maybe fairies really know about the forest, though. We don't really venture too far, deep into like caves and stuff.
There might be people in there, especially ones that look like they might have been designed by humanoids. Fairies will tend to avoid. However, I mean, she's seen a number of entrances to these things in the forest. They exist in the world. Tess, as you come into the this next room, there's a sleeping bag that's been set up next to a cooking fire, and there are definitely noises coming from around the corner. Voices, maybe?
Again, disorderly direction.
Yep.
Tess pauses and tries to listen to see if she can discern anything.
Phelan appears from around the corner.
How is your travels?
Easy.
Of course.
Can we check out the sleeping bag?
There's a small sack next to the sleeping bag.
Tess pokes it with her quarterstaff.
Coin.
Nice. Picks it up.
That real quick. You find 14 silver pieces.
Nice.
Cheapo.
I'm gonna venture over this corner here and try to listen again to see if I can discern anything.
Please roll a listen check.
What would that be?
What would
Oh, I'm
that be?
sorry. Perception is that attribute. Very sorry. That's a 3.5 thing.
Oh, I don't hear
Oh.
anything.
What?
Y'all are being too loud. I can't hear over you.
Yeah.
Someone else needs to
It's
listen.
too much noise. Misku. Misku just kind of... Oh.
Misku just goes.
Misku just goes.
Leroy!
I thought that's your job, Tess.
Miscu's learning from the best.
Alright, what do I see?
Inside this final room, there is a Durgar. And he doesn't seem to have noticed you yet, but as you round the corner, he seems to finish his chanting, and this gate opens up before him. And through it steps what you can only think of as demon, devil.
Eldritch horror.
None more classical, probably.
It has this beard of viney-looking tendrils. And as he comes through the portal, he looks directly at the Durgar, the dwarf. And he says, "Why do you summon me, mortal? I seek an audience with your masters. Then you seek death. My people are in possession of certain artifact. Why would we be interested in mortal trinkets?" The dwarf produces this pendant from the folds in his robes. And the devil chortles. "This pendant contains..." "Yes." "Will you grant us counsel?" And he thinks for a moment. "I will return to my masters and inform them of your request. You will summon me again in 7 days." And with that, the demon steps back through the portal and vanishes.
Well, if we heard all this, I'm probably going to start walking into the room.
I was just. Did we get a look at the pendant at all?
Nope.
No, but the
Okay.
guy's still holding it, right?
Yep.
We'll get a good look if you kill him.
I think we sort of quietly gesture Valphalin over
Valphalin marches over.
and be something unusual. We found a gentleman, if you could call him that.
The dwarf seems to be
Yes.
picking up his personal effects.
Have we been noticed yet?
No.
Can I bonk him?
Stealth check. Also, let me roll a nit for everybody.
Bonk, bonk.
I can do this now.
I rolled an 18.01.
Yep, that's intentional. It's a tiebreaker. Let me see what that does. Is it takes your bonus, your initiative bonus, and it adds it as a tiebreaker, as a decimal. Yeah, very intuitive little system there. But we just rolled a nit, and it didn't take 10 minutes of our time. Also.
Oh, well. A lot of high nit rolls.
Yay,
Okay.
dexterity.
Where's the other one? Should have added him twice. Oh, it didn't. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Stealth check. Did you roll the stealth check? And I
He
didn't see
rolled
it?
15.
Okay.
You both rolled. Oh, yeah.
Oh wait,
I
that's
want to put us in order then.
Why?
I mean for the turn order.
Oh,
Because we
wow.
rolled our numbers, but it doesn't put us in
I
order.
thought it did that. Okay.
Nope.
Okay, apparently not. Well, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, at least it gives us, like, 2 people rolled an 18, and the tiebreaker was Tess, because she has a higher modifier. So that's how that's supposed to work. Which
is my stealth check counting before we initiated combat, or?
Yes. So what I should do is say... There. Actually, how is that fair? You know what? I know exactly how I'm gonna do this. Let's put that back in the... Well, I could have just... Where did you go? Oh my gosh. This is such a small window. I'm going to go ahead and let you take this first turn because you are catching him flat-footed.
Cool.
So this will act as an extra turn. So stealth check.
It's 15.
15. Where's his character sheet? I guess I could have left him paired. Oh well. Versus... Oh yeah, you're hidden.
So I just now noticed this, but I no longer have the dual option for Warhammer in my inventory.
Oh, whoops.
So it should have been two-handed for 1d10.
Oh crap. Yeah, I need to go through and... Okay. So before you guys make your attacks, let me know to check your weapons first, because yeah, if you didn't notice, they kind of got modified a little bit. All of your weapons, all of them.
As if by magic.
Man, how do I add that back? Oh, it's got a damage 1 and a damage 2. How do you roll the damage 2 though?
Well, before it was entered as 2 weapons for swinging it one-handed, swinging as two-handed.
Yeah, I know. It should have that on, like, it still shows both damage.
That is weird.
Now, what is going on here? Why is that not showing up correctly? Oh, is it because the attack doesn't change? Yeah, okay. The attack roll doesn't change on it. It's the damage that does. So I bet damage 1 is on the left, damage 2 is on the right. Done. Use the one on the left if you're rolling for single-handed. Use the one on the right if you're rolling for double-handed. That's how, or two-handed. That's how you do that. Okay, that makes sense. I'm assuming you did want to attack. Did you have anything else you wanted to do beforehand? Since I did that for you.
Wait, the one on the left is one-handed, right?
I think the one on the right rolled low. Yeah, if you mouse over it, rolling 1d8 plus 2 strength plus 1 magic, 2 plus 2 plus 1 equals 5, and then the other one roll 1d10, 2 plus 2 strength plus 2.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it rolled low for a two-handed attack.
Well, it rolled low for the damage.
Yeah, rolled low for the damage, correct.
Yeah. Well, I'm swinging to knock him out. I'm trying to swing non-lethal.
Okay, so that'll be half damage. Give me just a moment here. I just want to make sure that it's correctly in there. So that
seems off.
Yeah, I'm looking because one of them says 1 magic, 2 strength, 1 magic. How did that get put on there?
So because the bonus.
Yeah, but I'm looking for it in the settings is where I'm looking for it, and I'm not seeing like where that's set. But I guess it's just on the weapon itself.
Defined, so it's because it's plus 1.
No, it's right. It's right here. It says magic bonus. Got it. Cool. Okay. Yeah, we're good. We're good. That did the trick. I need to actually drag that in on you guys.
It was dipped in water, so
Can
that was magic.
Can all of you?
This
will take a lot. This will be a lot easier if all of you kind of go into your sheets and you can replace your weapons with +1 weapons at this time, because everybody threw their weapons into the fire, so they are all +1 weapons now, all of them. If you're not familiar with how to do that, just open up your character sheet. I'm going to go ahead and open up Val, and then go to the compendium at the top, and you can search by your weapon. So I'm going to search Greatsword, and it comes up in the compendium, Greatsword +1. Just unlock and then delete that weapon from your inventory, and then put a Greatsword +1, or put the +1 version of your weapon, drag it onto your character sheet, and it'll drop it in your inventory.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's interesting. That's right, because I have 2 daggers.
Yeah, and you dip that other dagger in there as well.
Okay, let me get this.
And
okay.
Actually, this isn't making sense. It's saying that the +1 magic bonus isn't added for the two-handed attack.
what?
If that's the case, they should both be 5s.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. But like, it's there.
It's not for the two-handed attack. That's weird.
Damage. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look at it right now. Look at it again, see what might have happened there. Because I dragged that in. It's right out of the compendium. That should have worked. So yours says strength +0. Proficient is the attack.
Wait, how do I drag this? How do I drag this?
Your character sheet can't be popped out in a separate tab. You have to.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to search it and then drag it onto your character sheet while it's not popped out, and then you can delete your other weapon.
Bludgeon, 1d6. No, 1d8, 1d10, plus strength, +0. And then the whole thing has magic bonus 1. See, and it, like, both of them say +0.
Well, the one on the left says +1 for magic.
I know. I'm seeing that. I'm looking, but what I'm looking at is on your character sheet, where it says attack, strength +0, you're proficient, so it adds your proficiency bonus. Then it says magic bonus 1, crit range 20, and then under the next category it says damage 1d8, strength +0, right? Bludgeon. And then the next one says damage 2, 1d10, strength plus 0, bludgeon. Like they're equal. I'm not sure why it's not. Let me roll that again, actually. Let's see what happens when I roll it.
So, so the +1 is applied to the proficiency, right? Like, so if your proficiency is say 4, and you add a plus, like if you're using a +1 weapon, your proficiency bonus will be 5 for any attack on that weapon. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let's roll a 1 +2 +1. Yeah, no, I see what he's talking about though, because like if you look at the first one, it says 1 +2 +1 for the single-handed attack, and then just 9 +2 for the second.
Well, that's because he rolled a 1d10 and then the +2 from the strength.
Yeah, but the 1d10 he rolled a 9.
Yeah, and then the other one is a 1d8. He rolled a 1.
Yeah, but the second one's not counting the +1 magic damage. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we can go ahead and add that as or you know what? For now, I just want to move on. I'll add it in as you roll. I'll be checking that actively as you roll, and I'll add it in myself. Shit. Actually, you know what? I'll just throw it on the end of the thing. So Misku, where's your character sheet? Warhammer +1, 1d10 strength +1. Done. Oh, well, I guess I should have tested it. Misku. And where's your attack? Warhammer. Submit. Damage. Fixed. It just doesn't say 1 magic damage, so that's something we'll have to remember, but either way. Cool.
Yeah, 1 mod. It says 1 mod, so we'll.
So did you want to attack?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll an attack.
Yeah, he was
with...
saying he did the non-lethal thing.
You know what? Because this is also well, because we're still getting it set up and everything. Go ahead and roll it again, but this time with advantage because you are stealthed.
18.
That's a hit.
So does he knock him out cold?
Are you fighting one-handed or two-handed in this case?
I mean, I guess since it's telling me it's the smarter way to go here, I'll go one-handed.
Okay, so you're fighting one-handed. Ahara, you're up.
I probably have to move around the corner, I guess.
Yeah, you can move through other players.
And I'm gonna stay as far back as I can here and try and give him a shot. I might actually, let's see, how far was that? I'll actually come all the way over and take a shot from this over here.
As a matter of fact, when you hit him, Misku, you actually knocked him down, so he's down.
Prone.
Yeah, prone. Where is prone? I'm just gonna put that. Not unconscious, but prone. Oh, there's more. Huh?
All right, I'm going to apply Hunter's Mark first, and then attack to wound.
Okay, so you're also going to try to... you're going to try to knock him out, or...
Yeah, not kill him. Non-lethal damage.
So you're going to, like, maybe take a shot for, like, a leg or something?
Yeah, I'll probably aim for, like, aim for the stomach so that he'll die very slowly.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Harsh.
Well, he looks like a Duragar. Do I know what a Duragar is?
It's an ancient dwarf.
I mean, I know what a Duragar. Does Ahara know what a Duragar is?
Yep, you've read about him.
Okay.
That comes from you living in very close proximity to the Great Library, by the way.
I might use my inspiration to re-roll that.
Yeah, that was a no, that was a hit actually.
Oh, well, then I won't.
Go ahead and roll damage. We have 8 plus 2. Oh right, this is non-lethal, so it would be 4 plus 1, which is 5. Valphalin kind of pushes through all of you and makes his way up. That was. So Valphalin kind of makes his way up, but he doesn't have the time to attack before Tess takes her turn. You know what we need?
Battle music.
Yeah, Tess is just gonna run up to this guy and she's gonna ready her rope, but she won't have any other action besides that.
Misku, your next turn.
I'm gonna make like Puppet Pal, Clem, and Bonk.
Okay. That's a hit.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Big Bonks.
He's unconscious. Well, that was over quick.
Knock,
Da,
knock.
da, 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 da.
Pretty much.
Tie
Get
his
that clip
ass
from
up
Friday to
and
play.
take that pendant.
No, that's over. I want to check this for traps.
We'll get to that in just a moment. So bear with me
Careful,
for just a
it's not a
second.
mimic.
So you let me see here. I put that in my notes. The pendant bears the symbol of a tree with no leaves. It's actually warm to the touch, and it has a small crack down the center of it. This
Another
is
one?
identical to the other pendant that's in your possession.
I wonder what would happen if we had them by each other.
Make them touch. Make them touch.
Now, Keith.
Tess pulls out the other one to do a little compare and contrast between the two.
They are identical except for the crack down the center of the new one. And like I said, the new one is a little warm to the touch.
Another one.
Did he use the pendant to summon the demon?
Yeah, he sure did. Maybe they're a one-time use kind of thing, since this one's damaged.
Or maybe it takes a great amount of power to summon a demon.
Well, we saw the little tinier. Well, I don't know if I actually saw the creature. I know we heard the talking, but we know about the ones from the forest that were like sort of imp-like creatures. But from what I could at least hear, it sounded like the other one was more of a greater creature. Maybe the more powerful the creature you attempt to summon, the damage it does to the locket.
We should maybe wake this guy up and question him or see what kind of information we can extract.
Let's tie him up first, right?
Misku, you start to...
Yeah, I have rope. He's tied up.
Yeah, he's tied up. Misku, what are you... So how are you interacting with this chest? Describe it.
I want to check for traps.
Okay. Do you have any thieves' tools?
I do.
Oh, cool. Okay, I would like you to roll on your thieves' tools. You should have a proficiency in it. I think it's like a...
It's asking me what attribute I'd like to apply to it. And the first one's showing up as strength.
Let's go ahead and do dexterity.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that is nice. So you actually do isolate a trap on this chest. And you quickly are able to disarm it. It looks like it was some kind of, possibly an explosive. Seems to be like a powder, maybe a poison. You don't want to touch it. Otherwise, it was a pretty simple trap, and you were able to overcome it. Also, let's do 25 experience points for that one.
E.
After that, you pop the chest open, and let me grab what you find. No, wait, no, I need to do this with the, okay. Let's do... one. So inside the chest, there is a suit of plate mail armor. And it's all very nicely kind of placed into this, packed into this chest. The armor itself is very, very clean.
Neat.
So this is, in the compendium, this is called Armor of Gleaming. If you'd like to drag that into your inventory. And that's an attribute that applies to a suit of plate mail armor. So you'll want to drag in a suit of plate mail armor, and it'll be Armor of Gleaming. So do you need me to do that, or?
1 second.
Okay.
How do I drag that?
So your thing can't be popped out. It has to just be a regular window.
You drag it from the sidebar. Never mind. I got it.
Yeah. Then you should be able to, if you can't drag in the Armor of Gleaming because it is an attribute on a suit of armor, then drag in a just plate mail. If you search
I
plate
have the
mail.
plate armor.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, plate armor.
Is there anything interesting about these statues? Are these statues here?
Yeah, they're very old and they are caked with like dust and dirt.
What about this little thing right here?
That's a torch.
Oh, okay.
It's a very nice torch.
Can I look around him to see any kind of like signs that the dirt has been smudged or removed, or is the dirt consistent?
Investigation check. Actually, no. The dirt seems to be consistent.
Just wall things then.
Yeah, it just looks old. Looks like they've been here a very, very long time. Looking around, though, you can't really decipher a purpose for this room. Like, you don't really understand why it was built. Like, there
It
is...
doesn't look like.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you can go ahead.
Like, there's not really... It doesn't really seem to... Like, there's not an altar in it, so it doesn't seem to be necessarily like a religious kind of chamber. And it seems rather empty. Maybe it was picked clean. But that doesn't make much sense, right?
From what I've read about the Durgar, they shouldn't be this close to the surface. It seems like there should be some sort of way down from this place.
That is a good point.
But I don't see anything extraordinary. This room is unusually clean.
Except for the dust and dirt everywhere. It looks like it has been that way for some time. Perhaps there was a way down nearby.
Should we look around more?
It could be elsewhere in the cave, or it could be outside.
Do you guys want to split up and search? Since you've already been through all the other rooms, it seems like it should be safe.
Yeah.
So you guys all break into separate rooms. Do you guys want to pick like what room you want to investigate, or?
I'm still curious about like this big hole that we sort of avoided from the right fork.
So as you approach the hole and you kind of investigate it on your way back, it just seems to be a giant hole in the floor. It doesn't appear to necessarily be man-made, maybe created over time.
There's no kind of ropes or anything that somebody could have climbed up here?
No, it looks like a pit. Who knows where it goes?
I don't know. No one can fly, right? Oh, no,
Cyrene.
actually, Cyrene can fly.
Ooh, Cyrene
Yeah,
can
Cyrene can
fly, but she requires the ground to be within 10 feet. So she can only fly 10 feet up. So if you, I guess she could glide down, but there wouldn't be a way for her to just fly back up.
Ah, well then, never mind.
Phelan makes his way back toward the entrance. Is anyone staying with the Durgar?
I think after looking in this hole, I'd probably want to, like, he's not dead.
No,
I
he's
wouldn't want to leave him alone.
he is unconscious, but he is bound.
Can I just drag him out?
Sure, you can definitely drag him out.
Cool.
He doesn't weigh that much.
Just grab a length of the rope and just start dragging him out of the cave.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you drag him. Where do you drag him to? Just out the cave?
Yeah, I'm just pulling him along.
Is this a spit on the ground here?
Yes.
Can I poke it and see if there's anything in it?
There's not.
All right.
The cook pot looks like it has been slightly used. Do you guys want to remain in the dungeon, in the structure?
I think we're done here.
So
Possibly.
As you guys near the exit, Valphalin stops you. What's next?
There's more to this area, I think, but for the time being, I believe we should get back out of here and try to bring this foul creature to the attention of Govan Godbury.
Tess, can you roll a Constitution check? Actually, make it a Wisdom save. Actually, now that I'm thinking about that, make it a Wisdom save.
Oof. Oof.
The dice are against me today.
Tess, in your head, you hear, Tess, Tess, Tess.
She freezes in her steps and like looks around. And then she quickly runs to speed up and get with the rest of the group because she's freaked out. Did anyone else hear a voice?
No.
No.
Only the echoes.
Probably
Is something the
imaginary.
matter?
I thought I heard someone say my name.
And no one was around you?
Not that I could see, no.
Did they
Tess,
say, baby, I love you?
you hear, they're lying. They're all lying.
Get out of my head!
That's
Get out of my head!
It's probably nothing. Let's get out of here.
You guys all leave the... you guys all leave and make your way back up the river. It's about an hour walk. What do you guys want to be doing on the hour walk?
I mean, that guy's still unconscious the whole time?
He is unconscious the whole time.
Yeah, he's just being dragged.
He got knocked the
Wow.
fuck out.
Drag him on the rockiest path.
Mhm. Need I remind you that the very first thing that happened to him was like he got clubbed over the head with a Tetsubo, was it?
Bonk bonk.
Yeah, he got bonked. He's
Twice.
out fucking cold. He's probably
Actually,
drooling
he's
all
probably
the
he's probably bleeding a little bit too, considering he was also hitting the arrow.
Oh
in
yeah,
his
definitely
stomach
bleeding.
area.
If
Also,
you guys need a good illustration, you should check our message group in Discord.
Accurate.
Bonk.
yeah, that's pretty accurate. Okay. So you all make it back to town with this Duragar in tow. Bloop. And what do you do when you get back to town?
I mean, we're gonna have to find the city guard, I think.
Govan Godbury, right?
Yeah.
How much can we sell this guy for?
Probably nothing.
Well, I mean,
Lame.
Not around
they're-
here anyway. You'd have to find some contacts that do that sort of thing.
There's no slave market.
Sure. Like I said, you'd have to find
Okay.
contacts that do that sort of thing.
Hold on a second. I have criminal contacts.
Can you find some slave traders?
So you're wanting to sell him into slavery.
I'll keep that as a backup plan.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay.
But I do have criminal contact in my my attributes because of my background.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's something you can do.
I think selling a Duragar into slavery is like the supreme ironic justice.
He'd be sold back into slavery. See, the Duragar were once enslaved by the Illithid. You've read about that. Everyone knows
Yeah, but
about
then
that.
they have a lot of slaves as well. It's just like full circle.
Yep. Probably sell them right back in though. I'm sure there's someone who would port them there.
I'll see if this Godberry guy gives us any money for this guy first, and I'll figure it out.
Maybe we could suggest he's responsible for the missing dwarven artifacts.
Govan Godbury greets you when you approach the castle. Well, seems that you've had a lucrative time so far. And
So, yeah, we
who's
kinda
your
just
friend?
Toss his body. We just toss him like right in front of the Godberry.
Yeet.
Oh, a Durgar. What are they doing near
Yes.
the surface?
We found an unusual ancient
Duragar.
cavern
Oh,
of some kind. I don't know how else we could describe it, but it seemed to have some sort of crystal within a basin that managed to improve our weapons somehow. And we found him while digging around further within.
oh, interesting.
He summoned a demon.
Oh,
Oh yes, look to test. You have the other item, right?
Yeah, I have the pendant right here, and she pulls out the cracked pendant and shows it.
another. He's looking at it, and he compares it to the rubbing. That I actually, you know what? No, he doesn't. He just looks at it. He can identify it immediately. Oh, this is the same pendant as before.
Not exactly. Well, it's the same design, except as you can see, this one seems to have a bit more wear to the other one.
Yes, and is it warm?
We noticed that.
You
well,
said he summoned a demon.
as far as we could hear, and apparently he was tasked with summoning it back within 7 days.
Within 7 days. Well,
Something about his pendant gave the demon pause.
how do you mean?
Well, we couldn't see him, but he seemed to show something to the demon, and the demon then changed its tune from refusing to work with him to agreeing to talk to his superiors.
While you're talking, he signals 2 other guards over who proceed to flip him over, and the dwarf suddenly becomes conscious and begins to wrestle against the other guards. They kind of frisk him and check him for weapons or any other items, and they pull out a small dagger. Looks to be ceremonial. They also pull out what is it, like a sheet of parchment paper, and inside this parchment paper there's a dust. Ian Fear, you recognize these as magical components. So do you, Cyrene.
That's rather interesting. Wonder what he could need this for.
Probably summoning. That dagger is not meant for combat.
No. Well, I mean, he's struggling.
Take him to the dungeon, says Govan Godbury. What led you to finding this Duragar and the demon? How did you know where they would be?
One of the townsfolk had interest in exploring the cave, probably out of
What?
looking for treasure of some sort.
And Val Phelan pipes up. What happened to the halfling?
I'm sure he got scared off by the thought of having us come back out.
That's a good question.
Halfling? Who is this halfling?
was his name?
Rollo.
Tanglestrand.
Yes, Randy.
Rollo Tanglestrand. I know who he is. He lives in town.
Yes.
Well.
He was.
I may have to pay him a visit then. Thank you for all of this information. Are you still set to depart in 2 days?
As soon as you are. We're simply looking to gather supplies and get as much as we need to prepare ourselves for this expedition.
Well, it seems you will be very, very helpful indeed. If your track record is has anything to say about that. We're gonna go ahead and close up right here, guys.
Yeah.
He hands the lot of you 500 gold pieces, which let me split that real quick.
Oh, for the whole group, yeah.
Yeah, for the whole group.
I was about to say, he hands each of us 500? Oh, nice.
At this point, you've done him a couple of solids, and he felt like he needed to. Oops, that was Let me see.
Patrick, have a night on the town. I'd like to buy this establishment, good sir.
83 gold, 3 silver, 3 copper. Special thanks to Mr. Ahara for coding us up a nice little splitter, coin splitter.
Word.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump out. We gotta get to the store.
I'd also like to, everybody please add, go ahead and call it 100 experience points.
Ding.
Ding.
Everyone should have dinged, yeah.